we're going to talk about for rent by owners. So what you're going to learn today is how to find properties most people overlook. Easy ways to get sellers to answer. And when I say answer, I'm like answer the phone, to get them to actually pick up the phone. Timing the right person at the right time, and finding properties with no marketing expense. That's what we're going to talk about. That's what you're going to walk away with. What is for rent by owner? Let's just start with this. For rent by owner is landlords looking to rent their property, not represented by an agent, a broker, or property manager. Those are typically all the same. So why is this really important? Okay. Simply put, you can easily get a good contact number. If somebody's advertising their property for rent, and they don't have an agent representing them, you're going to call and you're going to be able to talk to them. They answer their phones. They're trying to rent their property. So let's talk about how this works. Look up a property for rent. You call the owner. You ask them if they would be interested in selling rather than renting. Ask them if they have any other properties they are interested in selling. This is really big. Lots of times people that own properties own multiple properties, and they may not want to sell the one they have, but they may want to sell a different one. Ask them if there is a time in the future they may be interested to sell a property. Set a calendar reminder or activity to call them in a few months and check in with them. Timing is everything. You're trying to find a burnt out landlord, or call them the day they had property damaged. Typically, the key is to find other properties that they have that they are not currently trying to lease. And it may just be that you talk to them, you make a relationship, and they're not interested right now, but in 6 months, the tenant, they just put in damages of the property. They have to spend $30,000 to fix the property up, and they're saying, that guy that keeps calling me, I'm just going to give him a call and sell him the house. Okay, so how do we find these people? Okay, we go to for rent by owner. We go to rent.com. Just be careful you don't get property managers there. Check out Craigslist and then look on your local classifieds. Lots of people, there's these local classifieds, like there's one in my area, local classified that you can use. Just type in classified ads. Byowner.com. Okay, so go to Google, put in home for rent in my area, and see what those top listings are. Whatever the top listings are, those are ones that you want to be calling on. So how do I know if it's an owner or a property manager? So property managers are required to put company name and in some cases their license number on there. And so you can know, you can Google the company name to make sure it's not an owner's company, meaning some companies, are holding companies. And so you can just Google it to see if they're a real estate agent. Most of the time, if it's on there, if in doubt, just give them a call. Let's just talk about what to say here, right? So I'm calling. Okay, I'm calling about 123 Main Street. The owner says, yes, that's still available. And you say, wonderful. Can you tell me a little bit about the property? And the owner says, yes, it has 3 beds, 2 baths, blah, 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 blah. Fantastic. So then we say, would you have any interest in selling the property rather than renting it? Okay. So then we say, owner's like, well, not really. Or if they say yes, then I say, wonderful, tell me about the property. And then if they're not interested, which most people are not going to be interested, you're looking for one out of many, then you say, do you by chance have any other properties you'd be interested in selling? Could there be a time in the future you may want to sell? So these are things you can say as we do some of these follow-ups with people. Owners like, well, maybe. And I say, wonderful. Tell me a little bit more about the home. And then is there any time I could see the property or we could visit the property? So they could be saying this now or they could be saying this later. So when it really comes down to it, the follow-up is the key. Don't just call one time. You've got to call 3 times. You've got to leave a message. Now, when you're leaving a message, don't say, I want to buy your house. You say, hey, my name's Ryan. I was calling about 123 Main Street. Give me a call when you get a minute. That's it. Or that's what you could send in a text message. Do not talk about wanting to buy in your text or in your voicemail. Okay, this is a contact sport. You have to make lots of calls. This is a numbers game. You've got to have some thick skin. You are going to have people that are upset. They're going to say, you're wasting their time. Always just be kind. Don't be respectful. So just keep in mind, every no is closer to one yes. This is one of the first techniques I did early on in my career. And as a matter of fact, when we started Do Hard Money, I used investors that I had met by going for rent by owners. As a real estate agent, I did this. I would call people and ask them if they would want to sell rather than rent, and I would try and list their property. In doing that, I met people. I got a ton of business from doing that, but I did it every single day. I'd call every for rent by owner every single day. I would keep a database. Back in the day, I just had 3x5 cards, and I had a little thing you opened up, and I had the months and the days with little tabs. I'd write down that I called them. I'd put another time to call them. I'd get out my stack of cards. I'd call all my new ones. I'd write my new cards, and then I would call them. I'd put them and say, I'm going to call them in 3 months or 6 months, and put it all there. Now, luckily, you can do that all with computers and put it all on Google. You can use Google Sheets for this to make it easier, or head on down to Office Depot and get yourself some 3x5 cards. That's a great way to do it as well. So that's what I did early on in my career, and I love it because most people give up too early. That's the key to all this. I love it when it's hard because people give up too early, and if you just make that extra call, and that's why I say 3 calls. Always do 3 calls. You have to be consistent. You have to do this regular. You have to do a long time. We're talking months before you end up getting some of these properties, which is great because most people call, give up, and never do it again. They say that didn't work. They get frustrated, and guess what? That's more business for me to get. I find a guy out of the country that had a friend taking care of his homes. This is a guy I talked about a little bit earlier. I ended up doing 9 deals on properties he owns. It only takes 1 to make it worth it all. Setting a schedule. This is just advice. Like, set a schedule as to when you actually want to be making these calls. Set a time, a weekly reminder, 3 days a week, every single day. Whatever you're going to do, 9 o'clock. Set the number of hours you're going to call. These are working hours. You get home from work, have dinner, play with the kids, and say, hey, between 7 and 8, I am calling for rent by owners, and I am going to call them all. Do your follow through, put the schedule together. Let's talk a little bit about just some phone sales skills. These are just basic phone sales skills. Stand up when you talk. You have more energy. People can hear the energy in your voice. Be confident, but don't be arrogant. So it's important if you're timid and you're like, I don't know. If you sound like you don't know how to invest in real estate, if you sound like you don't know what you're doing, it comes across. If you're unsure of yourself, it will follow through like blood in the water to a pool of sharks. Phone skills. Make sure you smile. It comes through in your voice if you smile. People know. And if you're not good at this, get a mirror, put a mirror in front of you, and make sure you're smiling to yourself while you're sitting there. Now, one of the biggest things is call reluctance. There's this fear to pick up the phone. So don't be afraid of the no. And the fastest way to not be afraid of the no is to start calling and get a bunch of no's so you can be like, that wasn't that bad. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Just do it. If you make a mistake, call the next guy and do better. Don't be afraid to start. That's one of the biggest things, an attitude. When you're calling these people, you really need to be coming from an attitude is like, not how can I make all this money? You need to be coming from the attitude of how can I solve somebody else's real estate problem? What problem do you have going on? And how can I help you solve it? That's really what you're coming from. When you make the call, make it about the homeowner and what their needs are, not what your needs are. The person that solves the most real estate problems wins the game. That's the thing. So a pro tip, this is a pro tip for a lot of you, phone dialer. If you have call reluctance or if you want to just automate things and make it easier for you, use a phone dialer. This is a software called RedX. They have lists for rent by owner, so you don't have to go find the list. It's also a dialer. It's about $80 per month. They'll have the list for you and it'll just dial it automatically. You put the headset on. It works really well. I highly recommend something like this. Just a pro tip for any of you that are out there. You can also add other lists for vacant properties as well, and it can call multiple people at once. So if you're crunched for time because you've got your day job and you only have a little bit of time, it can call multiple lines at one time. Quick poem to think about. Stick to your task till it sticks to you. Beginners are many, but enders are few. Honor, power, place, and praise will come to the one who stays. Stick to your task till it sticks to you. Bend at it, sweat at it, smile at it too. For out of the bend and the sweat and the smile will come life's victories after a while. That's really what it comes down here, guys. You've got to stick to the task of investing. You've got to stick to the task of making phone calls. You got to stick to the task of making offers. You got to stick to the task of being a real estate investor. You got to stick to the task of calling for rent by owners. You've got to stick to the task till it sticks to you. Smile at it. We talked about that. We talked about sweating at it. We talked about the hard work. And when it comes, that's when life's victories actually come. So true. Whoever gives up first loses. That's what there is to it. And there's one more tool for you to have in your tool belt. It's easy to start and costs virtually no money. So my question is, are you going to go after some for rent by owners? If you're interested in doing that, going after some for rent by owners, please put some notes in here and let me know. Let's see, for rent by owners versus leasing. Just going through some comments we made up on rent by owner versus leasing. Leasing for rent, same thing for me. It's basically you want someone that's trying to lease or rent their property. And you're saying, would you rather sell than rent? And you want to establish relationships, establish follow through, and see if they have other properties. Can we ask, will it be vacant? Yeah, you can ask if the property is going to be vacant. I wouldn't necessarily do that until you get further in the conversation, because once I get the conversation, I want to know about the property. I want to write down all the details and all that type of stuff. And then I can say, hey, can we go take a look at the property? And I would schedule a time to go meet with them at the property. I hope that helps, Zelda. Sharon, follow up. That's what we're talking about here. I appreciate the comments there, Sharon. That's absolutely right. Mr. Roger, Sharon Z would love to partner up with you on some deals in Tacoma, Seattle. It's a great market. We can team up with Do Hard Money and make it happen. Love it, man. Make that happen, guys. It's fantastic. These properties are vacant. They more than likely they're vacant because they're probably only trying to rent them if they are vacant. Maybe they're trying to rent it before the person's actually moved out. So that could be happening as well, if that makes sense. We're calling so basically an owner is advertising they want to rent their property, and those are the people we're picking up the phone to call and say, hey, I'm interested in buying rather than renting your property. I hope that helps. Zelda, phone sales skills is what I need. Zelda, the way to get phone sales skills is to make some calls. It's not that difficult. Smile, look in the mirror, stand up. Those things we're talking about. And the biggest thing is just don't be scared. Hey, I'm calling. My name's Ryan. I was wondering if you'd be interested in selling. Well, I was calling about 123 Main Street. They say, whatever. Hey, is that still available? Yes, it is. Great. Tell me about the property. Okay. And say, would you have any interest in selling rather than renting the property? Right? Like, it's such an easy conversation. And if they say no and they're upset, then you say, I'm sorry. Have a nice day. Mr. Rogers, you guys, this is good stuff that Ryan's teaching you. Proven techniques from a guy who has done it. I appreciate it, Mr. Rogers. It's good. Zelda, thanks for the great comments. I don't know how to say the you. Redix is awesome. I'm glad you're liking it. What are you using it for? That would be my question. What are you using Redix for? Basically, it's just that phone dialer that we're talking about. Zelda is going to go after for rent by owners. I love it. Never give up. Mr. Rogers, can't agree more. Gloria N. Hey, Ryan, could you put up the slide with the website, please? Oh, yeah. Great question. Let's just go back here. You're talking about where you can find these. You might have to go through all my... There might be an easier way to do this. Gloria, this is just for you. Let's find this. You're wondering about websites and where to find. Here we go. Gloria, I think this is the one that you're talking about. I'll leave it up here for a few minutes. This is how to find people. For rentbyowner.com, you can find them. Rent.com, just make sure you're not getting the property managers themselves. Craigslist.com, your local classified byowner.com. I'll leave that up for just a minute, and then I'll show you the Redx slide as well. What questions do you guys have when it comes to for rent by owners? What haven't we talked about here? If you've got questions, please put it in. Also, Gloria, you can also watch this recorded video. Once we complete the live cast, you can actually watch the recording and you can go back and take a picture of this slide as well. So we're going to jump back here. I guess the other thing I probably should put the slide up for is the pro tip. Here's the pro tip slide. that might be helpful for you. This is the RedX software. They have for sale by owner lists in here. The thing about the RedX is they actually have the lists. You don't have to go to those websites and actually find them. Thanks, Gloria. You're the man. Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. Okay, so a couple of things. We've got a bunch of stuff to go over still. So our complete system that takes brand new investors through flipping their first home is called our Find Fund Flip system. Dozens of hours of training, deal finding software, access to 100% financing, and we also include our Investor's Edge software in this as well. If you have any interest, just go over to dohardmoney.com/get started. Love to help you out. So, okay, and then get your free postcard template. One of the things that you can do is send out some postcards to some of these owners if you want to spend some money. And it's basically, there's a postcard that like shows somebody that's like a criminal that says, I'm renting your house. If you want to get a copy of that postcard, just go to dohardmoney.com/postcard-download. I am going to throw that in the chat for you. That's just free. It's just a free resource we like to give to anybody that wants to attend or wants to be part of this. Let me just send this over to you. Make sure this resource is actually working great for you. Click on that link. Let me know if that is working right for you. It looks like I did something wrong here. So we'll get that resource out to you if you want to get a copy of that. You go over to dohardmoney.com/postcard-download. What you missed from last week, rental properties, determining financials on rental properties is what we talked about, calculating financial returns, how to plan for factor on expenses. If you missed this, go to YouTube, watch our last live cast. Check us out on YouTube. Future live casts. I really need to know, guys, what are you wanting future live casts to be about? Here's a whole bunch of them. Wholetailing, determining repair costs, coronavirus investing, analyzing rents, wholesaling remotely, choosing good contractors, virtual wholesaling, finding cash buyers, seller financing, contractor bids, determining rental properties, what makes good rental properties, business partner deep dives, preparing for cash flows, reverse wholesaling, finding cash buyer deep dive, negotiating at the kitchen table, income properties, sell skills. We talked about some of those today. Closing a deal, all the players, auction properties, subject to deals, determining repair amounts, buy property remote, making offers without seeing properties. There's like, what are you interested in? Please type one of these subjects or multiple of these subjects in. Type it in the chat. It'll help me make some determinations for future things that we're looking to do for these live casts. Sharon Z, Ryan, you are an intelligent, down-to-earth gentleman. Sharon, you're too nice. I appreciate it. I appreciate the feedback. If you like it, please subscribe. Please give us a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Zelda wants to know about choosing good contractors. Man, I was in a meeting today, and a lot of the topic we were talking about is how to get good contractors, because that's so difficult. I appreciate it. What you want to hear here, put it in the chat, put it in the comments. We got a bunch more we're going to go over here. If you enjoyed what you've heard today, please share this link on YouTube. Share it with friends, share it with family, share it with others, and check out my podcast. I have a podcast called Income Hacker. If you have listened to an episode on Income Hacker, please subscribe to it on Income Hacker and go ahead and put in the chat that you are actually an Income Hacker listener. That would mean a lot to me. Finding good contractors. Okay, Roche, that I like it. Gloria N offers sight unseen and income properties. I like both of those. Keep them coming. What would you like to hear for future live casts? And if you are an income hacker, please type it in here as well. Okay, today's swag. You guys been waiting for it this whole time. Okay. So we showed this box last week. This is the box of everything. This is the nice, we were doing the bag, all the stuff that I showed you earlier, and this cool Do Hard Money blue bag just in time for school. Let's hope everything goes well with schools. We got all this stuff. Who is the winner of this for this last week's? This is for last week's. Today it starts for next week, which we'll announce next week. Today, so last week, Carol Nelson won our swag bag. That was last week. Carol, appreciate you being with us. If you want the swag bag, make sure you put it in here. So appreciate it. Oh, we got a few sign and say, okay, I'm a beginner, bad credit. How can you help me? Cornelius, I think I'm saying that right. The best thing that you can do in that is wholesaling. you got to do some wholesaling. That's probably the best thing you can do. You've got to find a property, put it under contract, sell the contract to somebody else. That's probably the best thing. The other thing you can do is partner with somebody that has a decent credit. Now, credit doesn't really matter. Like even for us as a lender, credit is, as long as you don't have collections, judgments, that type of stuff, then you could still get a hard money lender to lend to you. So there's lots of ways around that. It really comes down to find that great property. Mr. Rogers, find cash buyers would be a great topic. Okay, I've got it. Cornelius wants to be a winner. I appreciate it. Mr. Rogers, income hacker listener, awesome. Thanks for being here. Congratulations, Caroline. Now, this was last week, not this week, so we've got more coming. Today's swag winner that we're going to get today. Our winner is, we need like a round of applause. Okay, Dwayne Nix. Dwayne, yeah, you're the winner from this last week from our live cast. We'll be sending out this killer bag, swag bag over to you. Everybody, round of applause for Dwayne. Dwayne, if you're here, please say that you're here. Dwayne, what I need to have you do is to claim this. Email support@dohardmoney.com. Put in the subject line, swag winner. It's really important you do that. We need your screen name, if it's, Gloria Inn or whatever your screen name is, mailing address, your cell phone number, your email address, and we will mail you out the free swag bag. I've already got it in the USPS ready to go. So this is coming out to you. But does anybody else want to get one of these swag bags? So I got a little cool thing. I could use your help if you enjoy listening. If you want to get some swag, today, just email support@dohardmoney and put earn free swag. If you're interested in that, just email us support@dohardmoney, earn free swag, send us your phone number. We'll give you a call. What we're going to have you do is help us out with some reviews. Basically post it. We'll give you all the instructions on how to do it. Super simple. We'll make a nice little swag bag and send it out your way. So if you're interested in earning a free swag bag by helping us out by leaving some great reviews, just go to email support@dohardmoney.com, earn free swag, send us your phone number, we'll give you a call, we'll go over the details and get it for you. There's no cost, there's no obligation, any of that type of stuff. Okay, let's go. Congratulate. Okay, here we go. Wash your hands. Yeah, for sure. Zelda, yay. Yeah, Zelda, if you're interested, just email us, earn free swag. Congrats, Dwayne. Thank you, Mr. Rogers. I totally agree. Don, wash your hands. I always wash my hands. We have hand sanitizer all over. Congratulations. We appreciate it, Zelda. Yes. So if you're interested in earning this free swag, put in here, I want to earn the free swag, and then make sure you email support@dohardmoney with the earn free swag. Okay, guys, next Tuesday, 6 p.m., same time, same place. Let me know what topic you're most interested in hearing. Excuse me, so that we can have a great live cast for next week. And go on over and download. Go to dohardmoney.com/postcard-download so you can download a free copy of that postcard as well. I appreciate all of you being with us today. If you have any questions on For Rent by Owners, now's the time to get that typed in as we get things prepared here. If you're interested in that free swag, please take advantage of it as well. Zelda says, okay, thanks, will do. Mr. Rogers, Do Hard Money is in a league of its own. Nothing else like it. Mr. Rogers, thanks for the great comments. I really, really appreciate your support for sure. Please email us over at support and put in earn some swag. We'd love to get you a hat or get you something sent out there for helping us out as well. Any other questions? We're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Thanks everybody for being here. We will see you same time, same place next week. Make it a very profitable day.